we feel, and I feel you even if you're not here, lying here, and I'm drowning in the stars. If I could capture the light of your eyes, would be the brightest one by far. What we know is what we feel, and I feel you all around and everywhere. What we know is what we feel.
Vítaj.
Vítaj. Robert.
Jak se máš?
Dobře, díky. A ty?
Taky dobře.
Paráda. I didn't learn Czech. Unfortunately, I should have, because I met my girlfriend 10 years ago, and she's from Czech. So still, and I've been too lazy, so I cannot speak with her, with her parents or the grandparents. Actually, one word is, we were in Luhačovice, and then we passed by a house. And on the house, they all have names, the houses.
Yeah.
So one was Hora. And that word, if you translate it to Swedish, is very much used in Czech, swearing. It's one of the most common swearing words in Czech. Yeah, that question could be easy to answer. But it's... Yeah, it's probably, I could say that my passion lies with the music or with a photo or with art. But the more I think about it, actually the biggest passion is to live. And to live truly to yourself. That you, to see all of me. And to dig deeper, to find new things, new challenges and new things to fix. And because you get quite an immediate result in how you feel and how you perceive the world, and yeah, everything becomes much brighter every time you find something that you have to deal with. So I think I would say that is my biggest passion. I have to, when I make music, come closer to myself. Because if the music is not from me, all of me, and only me, it's not mine. And I like to make my music, and that's one of my ways to express myself. Yes, you sit by a piano, and that piano was in my parents' house. So I've been playing on this since I was a child. And also my father was a drummer, a jazz drummer. And after him I got this very nice drum set. You know, I have a Ludwig from '68. So I was playing the drums, which was very fun. And the piano, I would say, I used not for playing any songs. I almost never play any songs from anybody else. It was just, I used it as to walk on the excursion in myself and in the sound and what the sound made with me. And I still use it that way. It's the only thing I know. I didn't go to any universities, or actually I went to the, how do you say, gymnasium? Do you say that? Yeah. Economic program. It's for 3 years. And I went there 2 years and 1/2 English lesson. But then I stood up and I said, I'm out of here. So I went to Germany, where we had a record deal with the company. So, and then I just quit school, and I never studied anything theoretical since. Yeah, just practical, if I can call it that. And that was the reason why I moved to Gotland, They have a music school here, and to break all the old patterns in my hometown, for me, with all the people there, I just applied to somewhere completely different, and it was Gotland. And the reason I came in was the guitar teacher, because nobody was actually that impressed of my, I didn't study any instrument, so I was just improvising and doing things. We need some crazy people here also, so then I could go there. The time on Gotland, I mean, partly because I'm getting older, of course, but it has meant a lot of personal development since I moved here, because I felt at home that things were very stuck among the people. It's an old workers' town, and I like it still there. It's a very nice place with a very beautiful nature, and I did spend a lot of time in the nature there. When I was a child, it was the best thing I could do was to go out with a boat and just be on the lake for sometimes days. So, and that was where my connection with the nature began. But I felt that I just need something else, and I say thank you to that town, and it's still there. I can go there to visit when I want, but for my part it's done. Many things are special here, of course, because it's an island, and it's very close to everything, and everything is here. If I need to do something, whatever it is very close to get to that. In my hometown before, I needed maybe to go to Stockholm or to somewhere else to fix something, but here it's very close. But the best things is probably the light and the air. Very crisp light. It's brighter. It's like a higher frequency of light, probably because of the ocean around and reflections, I don't know, but it's very crisp. Sometimes I do, especially when I photograph my bees. I like that kind of shining in the pictures, but actually when I make my photos, they almost always are quite dark. I don't know why. Maybe I get enough of light in the day, so I need to make dark photos. First, it was a camera that I bought long time ago that could do it. It could do that, and it was not so usual. So I started to walk closer and closer, and then it was not enough, of course. And then I realized that it's the same with thoughts. That when you come very close, or feelings, that you come very close to them, and you take them and you really look at them, it becomes very interesting. You can see many things and where they lead and all the things. So it's like the same thing as with this makrofotography. It's you're going deep into something and isolate a special point. Here I make music and I edit photos. And I sit here thinking. I can, as well as I can be inspired by nature, I can be inspired by the machines, because they offer some possibilities to actually get the things out of my head. So it's nice to just sit here and look at them. Yeah, it depends on how you think, but for me it has become a tool. that I can use, because it is here. And the ideas that I have in my head, of course many of them we can do acoustic things with, but some of the sounds we cannot, because they are so, weird. and it's also there with the sound that you go deeper into it, and you get very close to the sound when you edit. You see the sound waves, and you're actually diving into the exact point where you want to look, or where you want to change something, or you want to see what it does with the other things around, because one sound affects the other all the time. Yes. I usually make sure that I am quite grounded, that I am in all my body and not only in the head. Because if you're only in the head, it's easy that things just spin away, spin around, and you don't have any anchor to actually feel that I'm standing and I can catch a thought and I can feel it fully with all the body, what it does. Because everybody knows that if you feel anxiety, you feel it here. Or you feel different things, you feel love, you actually feel it in the heart. And so that is one way to maybe analyze. I don't know if that is the right word, because it's not, I don't know, we say analyze every thought that comes in the head, and you can feel if it's right or wrong, or if it's good or bad, or if it's whatever it is. So I think it's important to ground, and then if we do that, we get more in harmony. And of course, it's everybody knows that if you meet a person that looks like this, very grumpy, it's not so nice. But if you meet somebody that's happy, smiling, it's very nice. So it's simple mathematics that we can absolutely affect everything around us with our thoughts and how we feel. For me, it's about that I feel all of me. I feel all the parts of the body. It's hard to explain, really. But it's mostly about that for me. That I can, whenever I want, I just go down. I feel that I transfer myself to all of me instead of just being in the head, because of course I can also be in the head very much sometimes. So then I have to stop. Well, it's just spinning and you're thinking a lot, and then I just stop and I anchor. Now we can talk. To take it easy and be calm, because everything will be okay anyway. More okay if you are calm, because you cannot think only with the head. She came to me. I was here on Gotland, and I saw her. I had a studio in another place, and we had some kind of it was a few people living there, and I moved to my studio, so I was living in my studio at that time. I separated like a while before from my ex-girlfriend, and with whom I have a son, and I moved to a small house, and then I realized I might as well live in the studio, so I went there. And then we have a party, and there were 2 Czech girls coming. I thought, it was nice. So talking a bit with one of them, but the other one was like walking around outside, and then in the night she came to my studio, because before we saw each other, so and we were talking, but then they had to go, and ever since then she's by my side. or we are beside each other, I would say.
What we know is what we feel, and I feel you all around it.
Yes, many times. Before we went like at least 2 times per year, or I did. She went more often, and 2 or 3 times per year down to, do you say Valašsko? Yeah, very nice. Bile Karpati. It's it has become a very nice place for recreation and for just being, because as I think I mentioned before, I don't speak too much Czech, so I'm pretty much just listening or walking out, being by myself. And but we also meet beautiful people there, people living in the hills and like managing their lives in very, very nice ways, very inspiring. So I really I like to be there a lot. Yeah, I love it actually. There are so many. And now the best is just when you stand down in a village and you look at the hills and you just think that I want to go to that top, and then you just walk all the way. It can be quite far sometimes. And it's always very nice to walk in the hills there. Usually in the mornings I go out to have a walk and look at my girlfriend. Her father has sheep, and he also has a lot of plum trees, of course. Yes, it's very nice. It's actually the only spirit that I drink, that I enjoy to drink, because it's very nice. And I put honey and propolis and wax in it now, after a friend in Czech did that, and I was just in the heaven when I was tasting. I usually walk in the mornings in the hills, and I enjoy it very much. Because when you come up away from the villages, it's also very nice air and the nice sounds from the birds there. A lot of kanya there in the hills. They're screaming, so you can dream away to past times. Yeah, almost like this prehistoric birds. Long time, I've been thinking about it long time to have bees, because I think it's a good thing for everybody to have, because we're so dependent on the bees, and there is a bee crisis in the world where bees are disappearing because of the pesticides and maybe other reasons also. So, but then when we moved to this place, there was still one beehive left. They have had 2, but 1 died, so it was 1 left. So I told them to let it be here. So then I started, and I found that it is very, very nice energy by the bees. It's also very grounding, because their energy is very directed. Like they do what they do and nothing else. You get very much affected by the energy of the bees. So I enjoy to sit here very much. I spend many hours just sitting by the bees. I feel that it's very, or felt also then, that it's very usual that people around, they don't truly understand that we actually are a part of nature. And that I understood when I was on the lake or in the forests around the lake. That you can feel everything that is there. And when I talk about being close to nature, I don't necessarily talk, because I don't need to know the names of the flowers. I don't need to know what animal is that or whatever it is, because that is not what nature is about. For me, it's to come home when I am in the nature, and to breathe freely and to release all the other thoughts. You know, of course, to ground. It's one more trick to ground. It's just to walk out in the forest and to release the thoughts. So I think it's important that people around start to understand that you don't have to know anything about nature. This intellectual knowledge, it's not important at all. It's just to walk out and feel it. There are maybe some things that could be interpreted to be drawbacks, but actually they are not, because they only educate you to be more true to yourself. Because everything, it goes around. So, and when you live your passion, it's like you give a lot. I feel that I give a lot from myself when I make the music or make the photos, or I have time to help people a lot. If somebody calls me, I need help. Yeah, of course, I do that, because I know that I have the time, because my passion is still burning here, and I can go away to do something else for a while with a good spirit. Then I noticed that pays off from some other direction. That then somebody else calls me for dinner. You know, it's not always like you have to. I get this from you. I have to pay you. You pay there. You get there. It started when I was small. That I was living many times like in a fairy tale. That you feel as a child, you feel this. You can look at small things, you can play forever with things, and you make up the worlds. And my parents were very open, so I didn't have to back off from this. They always respected my decisions, and like when I stopped school or anything. So I could stay in this like fairy tale thinking. It's also a matter of definition, of course. What is? I mean, nothing stops me. It just comes in my way, and I feel that I have to see something in me that I have to fix. Disappears.
What we know is what we feel, and I feel you all around everywhere. What we know is what we feel, and I feel you even if you're not here, lying here, and I'm drowning in the stars. If I could capture the light of your eyes, would be the brightest one by far.